Welcome to the Wrestling Podcast Thanksgiving Edition Survivor Series Results. Here with my guest, Grayson.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So, Grayson's going to start off with the first match.
Alright guys, so Survivor Series results. First off, we have Enzo defeating Kalisto. I watched this on YouTube, and overall it was not a bad match. And it cracked me up when Kalisto botched his entrance. He stood there bouncing on the rope and then just flipped over. That was pretty funny. Overall, not a bad match. It's one of the better matches I've seen Enzo do, to be honest, and I think he belongs. I think he's where he belongs in the cruiserweight division. Next up,
the KO and Sami Zayn versus Breezango. What was your reactions on this? And
I actually didn't. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was not able to catch this match. But I don't know. I feel like it would have been cool to see Breezango win, but I mean, I feel like they're pushing Sami and Kevin a little too much.
Yeah.
Like I could see them mid card, but well, like I don't know. I think they did well as far as booking goes with that. Having them be on the pre-show instead of the actual Survivor Series.
Yeah, I watched a video, and from what it looks like, it looked like that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will be jumping ship from SmackDown to Raw.
I think they'd be better off there than they would SmackDown.
Yeah, but I think they should trade 2 for 2, like Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt to SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe trade the Hardys over to SmackDown. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I watched a video, and at WrestleMania 33, apparently Vince McMahon didn't like Kevin Owens' match.
Yeah, I saw that too. Kevin Owens he's had quite the year.
Yeah. I forgot what his match was in WrestleMania 33. What was it?
Against Jericho.
Against Jericho.
Because they had all that friendship stuff. And then
yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. What's the next match?
Let's see.
The Shield and the New Day. That was an awesome match. I watched that.
Yeah, me too.
And that was crazy. The Shield powerbomb off the top rope to Kofi. Yeah. They did a lot of high flying stunts and stuff like that. Overall, a really good match to kick off Survivor Series.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Baron Corbin versus The Miz. I didn't like it because it was heel versus heel, and it wasn't really a good match because honestly, because the way they announced it, they had me thinking that if Baron Corbin won, he'd have the Intercontinental title, or if The Miz won, he'd have the U.S. title. But it wasn't that type of thing.
No, because they can't do that because they have it evened out right now to where they've got the same amount of championships on each side. I was rooting for The Miz to win just because I was rooting for Raw for Survivor Series, but I could see how Baron Corbin won.
Yeah,
he's pretty good at it.
I watched a video on the top 10 mistakes in Survivor Series, and apparently Becky Lynch wasn't supposed to get eliminated. It was supposed to be,
that's what I heard.
It was supposed to be one of the others on there.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the next match. Charlotte Flair defeating Alexa Bliss. I watched this, and Again, I was rooting for Bliss just because I like Raw more than SmackDown, but
Yeah. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't like Charlotte because she's too much of a heel. Like, she's like one of them. She's overpowered heel.
She's overhyped, but you got to give it to her. She is really good in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows with her dad being who he is. She's left behind such a legacy. I mean, she has a lot of space to fill with her dad being Ric Flair.
Yeah. There was something I was gonna say. Oh, and another thing. The Rock was supposed to appear, and the Undertaker was supposed to appear. Those were rumors. But I think that if Team SmackDown, I think if they would have added it into the storyline, like if Team SmackDown lost, then the Undertaker would have choke slammed everyone and
Yeah.
wanted retribution for the brand.
And one thing, I don't know if you looked at this, but on Instagram, while Survivor Series was going on, they posted a picture of Jason Jordan and one of the interviewers, and it said in the caption, it was like, Jason Jordan says in an interview that he is 100% and ready if Team Raw needs him. And everyone in the comments, plus me, was thinking that Jason Jordan was going to come out sometime in the match and screw over Team Raw.
Yeah.
And I was expecting it. I thought it was going to happen, and I was surprised when it didn't happen.
Yeah. I think. Now let's talk about Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. Now you have two New Japan Pro wrestlers, former WGP World Heavyweight Champion, former champions, going against each other. And Brock Lesnar, well, he's overpowered. I hate that he's Universal Champion. They kind of did the same thing with me because I was telling you earlier about the Miz and the Baron Corbin.
The winner was going to take the other's championship. It was honestly, first off, props to both of them, especially Brock Lesnar for holding up a 15-minute plus singles match in 2017.
Yeah.
Because before, he just mowed through everybody, and it wasn't much. It was just Brock Lesnar mows him down, 1, 2, 3, it's over.
Yeah.
But here, he actually gave AJ Styles a
chance,
a push, if anything, because he sold quite a bit of the moves that AJ Styles did on him, like the phenomenal forearm.
The calf crusher.
Yeah, the calf crusher. He really sold out on the calf crusher. He was making AJ Styles look pretty good in that match, but overall it was a pretty good match. And you were telling me that Brock Lesnar injured his knee on the stairs when AJ Styles pushed him into it.
Yeah. But
the good thing is, Brock Lesnar doesn't compete every Monday night, so he has plenty of time to recover in time for Night of Champions. Or is it Clash of Champions? I forgot.
It's Clash of Champions.
Yeah, that's it.
Before we get to the Raw and SmackDown 6-man tag team elimination match.
We got to talk about the women's 5-on-5. Too.
Yeah.
Women's 5-on-5. I watched this match, and this was probably one of the coolest matches I've watched in a long time. I knew towards the end that it was going to come down to Asuka, and she was just going to win it all. It was kind of predictable.
Yeah.
But the way they put it, it was pretty cool to watch. Asuka is pretty good at what she does. And it's cool to see her undefeated streak to keep on going. Overall, it was not a bad match. I was not disappointed.
Yeah,
And something told me Team Raw was going to win.
Yeah, they had a scoreboard going on through the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That video I was telling you about earlier, I watched it while you were coming over. He said, he announced, or he says that the TV writers, from what it looks like, that they have no plans for Bayley or Becky Lynch.
That sucks. They could really use both of those. Both Bayley and Becky Lynch. Both of them are really good at sticking to their storylines.
And they're good at cutting promos,
Bailey, I really like. She's impressed me this year. Becky Lynch too. It just sucks to see they don't have anything planned for them right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure sooner or later we'll get to see Carmella cash in on one of the champions. I have a weird feeling it's gonna be Alexa Bliss. I don't know why. I just get that feeling. But even then, she may do it on Carmella because they're on the same brand.
Yeah.
And then the Nia Jax Tamina thing. I'd like to see that match just a one-on-one between those two. I mean, it was kind of BS how Nia ended up getting eliminated by count-out. I didn't like that.
I was reading on PW Insider that AJ Styles is going to drop the title to Jinder Mahal on SmackDown.
I swear, if he does, I'm going to be mad.
I'm honestly done with Jinder Mahal. They need to move him to Raw and have him challenge for the Universal title.
Yeah, he'd be better mid-card than main event.
And they need to trade like somebody from Raw to come to SmackDown to face AJ Styles.
Like, I don't know. Who do you think would be good to come from Raw to face AJ?
Finn Balor, Braun Strowman.
He's not. Well, not Braun Strowman. That's one of the big players. They've always got him doing something. But I could see Finn Balor going over there because I think they're finished with the Balor and Wyatt storyline.
So,
I could see Balor doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, last one. 5-on-5 men's.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I watched that match all the way through.
Did you see when SmackDown suplexed Braun Strowman through the announcer table?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I was curious as to how Braun Strowman was still standing after that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the bigger they are, it's true, the catchphrase, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 300 pounds going down on that table. So, I kind of saw that coming, the Team Raw winning.
Yeah.
And for some reason, something told me Braun Strowman was going to be one of the sole survivors. The end was definitely cool, watching Triple H eliminate get Kurt Angle eliminated just to win it for himself. But that's Triple H has always been real good at mind games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And me personally, I was reading on Instagram this morning, people were saying that was going to lead to a Angle Triple H feud.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it, but I'd rather see a Braun Strowman Triple H feud.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because after that blow-up that they had after the match, that would be pretty cool to watch them two feud.
Yeah.
And, you notice, like I was telling you earlier before we did this, Triple H has definitely lost lost his charm, you know, because he used to get out there, and he used to be able to keep up with everybody, and it just seems like he's gotten slower.
Yeah.
Just like Matt Hardy when he came back, he's put himself through so much that it takes a toll and you get slower, you know.
I noticed over the years, because I watched a promo, or it was a segment from 2001 whenever WWE was still in the WWF angle, and it was after the invasion. I noticed that before, I don't know, WWE started going downhill and like DX reformed, I noticed that his upper arm was a lot bigger back then.
Who, Triple H?
Yeah, and then over the years it got smaller and smaller.
It's because he stopped performing, so he kind of lost his edge, you know.
Yeah. And then towards last year, he built it back up.
Now he's just sort of a part-timer, just shows up whenever. I mean, and he stays busy being the COO of the company.
And I think it's not. See, I bet you if I have a lot of respect for Triple H.
Same here.
It's just that with Stephanie being the daughter of Vince McMahon, I can see her point of view that she doesn't want him wrestling because of health issues or, you know.
He's getting old.
Yeah, he's getting old. He's age 49. He's about to be 50. Almost the same age as Ric Flair, which Ric Flair is like 60-something.
Yeah, I think Undertaker's in his 50s.
Yeah.
But back on topic, Triple H, he seems... See, Triple H is one of those superstars that people like him whether he's a heel or a face. He can do both and get the fans going, you know? It's just one of those rare superstars that he's able to really sell out on being a heel or a face.
Yeah.
And personally, I like him either way because he's really good at both of them.
Yeah.
And I could see him going into the Hall of Fame soon.
Yeah,
him
me too.
And Undertaker.
See, like, after... Okay, so you remember back... I know we're getting off topic, but you remember back whenever Brock Lesnar came back, and it was probably... I don't know.
You're talking about 2012 when he came back and he F5 John Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it was 2 months after that, him and Triple H got into a feud. Triple H was, yelling at John Laurinaitis.
I remember that.
That was when he got attacked.
And he broke
his arm 3 times.
He broke Triple H's arm, and he threatened to break Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Back to the 5-on-5. There was a lot of really cool little moments in there, like when Triple H and Bobby Roode fought. That was pretty cool because they're not exactly the same, but they're sort of the same.
Yeah, I saw this picture on Instagram, and it showed them both wearing the World Heavyweight title, and they had long hair.
Yeah.
I honestly lost interest, of being a fan of him after he cut his hair, and he had that,
Triple H?
He had that, 5 o'clock shave looking thing.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it because it was... Triple H, he's not cool without the long hair.
I mean, it did give off a certain level of intimidation. It's different. I'll say that much. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard because we all grew up watching Triple H with a super long head of hair, and he'd always let it down when he did the water thing.
Yeah.
Now it's not the same. But he still to a degree looks pretty cool with his haircut.
Yeah. But I do like how he's growing a beard.
His beard.
He's growing his beard, yeah.
But yeah, I really liked watching Triple H and Nakamura face off. That was pretty cool. And then Balor, I think I remember correctly, Balor and Nakamura went at it. And then Kurt Angle and John Cena. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Considering Cena's first match was against Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping this wasn't the last time we'll see Kurt Angle wrestle. I'm hoping we get to see him more often. Because if you notice, they do that a lot with legends, especially that go into the Hall of Fame. I think last year, Sting, they did it with Sting, and then who else? Goldberg didn't go into the Hall of Fame.
No, he needs to be, though.
But they're bringing legends back that are either... Because they had Goldberg as DLC for the previous wrestling game, so they had him, and then Sting was DLC for the wrestling game back then.
Yeah.
They had him fight. And there was... Now they're doing it with Kurt Angle, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind Kurt Angle as general manager. They did win, so I don't think he'll be getting fired.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of frustrated me whenever Stephanie McMahon said that she was gonna fire him if Team Raw didn't win.
Yeah.
And that just kind of makes me think that if, what if Raw didn't win, SmackDown won?
Yeah.
Then I think Stephanie would have fired.
They would have had to look for a new Raw general manager.
And they probably would have replaced Kurt Angle with Triple H, and that's how the authority would have been brought back.
I could see that happening, but it was cool what they did. It's just I'm curious if they're going to keep this up or if they're going to change up their pace, I still want to see if Daniel Bryan will come back or not.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember you telling me that some doctors cleared him or something like that.
He's actually cleared to wrestle, and he's trying to work with WWE to see if he can come back.
Yeah.
And you remember how he was having seizures?
Yeah.
Well, he's been in this program for since he retired, and the way it works was saying that it recovers the concussion area.
Mm-hmm.
It recovers it to where it'll be healed and you'll make a full recovery.
Yeah.
And he's been going to tons of those because Daniel Bryan, he has a lot of time off because he's general manager. He has a lot of time off.
Yeah.
So he's been going to those, and I'm pretty sure after his WWE contract expires, there's a possibility he might re-sign with them, or he'll go to Ring of Honor and challenge Cody Rhodes for the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah. Back to the 5-on-5. There was early in the match. I know Samoa Joe and Finn Balor kind of had a little blow up at the beginning.
Yeah.
But they've been having drama going on for I can't remember how long. Finn Balor, his attire was pretty cool last night though, all red. And of course Randy Orton took him out with the RKO. Now I was honestly expecting more from Randy Orton. I was surprised when he got eliminated because this is, in my opinion, this is probably the most star-studded match we've had, Survivor Series match we've had in a long time. Because on Raw side, you had Kurt Angle
and Braun Strowman.
Kurt Angle, Strowman, Samoa Joe, and Triple H. And then on SmackDown, you had Shane McMahon, John Cena, and Randy Orton. So it was a pretty star-studded match either way.
Yeah. Before we move to the next topic, I had a brain fart. What was it?
Batista.
It wasn't Batista. Before we get to Batista, Randy Orton was actually in a Survivor Series match before back in 2005.
Yeah, I remember because
Team SmackDown
he
won.
ended up winning it, and Undertaker came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that match earlier today.
All right, now let's move on to Batista. Me and you, we've watched Batista wrestle in the ring before, haven't we?
Yeah, because he came back in 2014, I think.
Yeah.
It was either that or 2015. Nah, I think it was 2014. Yeah, I've watched Batista wrestle, and I just wish he wasn't so. I wish he'd man up and stick with WWE.
Yeah,
because he's really good at it, and there's plenty of people that it'd be a really good match with him, like Braun Strowman versus Batista. That'd be a good match, or Cesaro versus Batista. There's a lot of.
So, you remember whenever Batista first debuted with Father Bubba, or not? No, Father.
I thought it was with Evolution.
No, because Batista, whenever he first started out, he was with OVW, which is Ohio Valley Wrestling, and he debuted with Devon Dudley. Whenever Devon Dudley had that priest gimmick. Yeah, he turned Batista turned his back on him and betrayed him, and
then he went with Evolution for a little bit.
After a while, Ric Flair became his mentor, and that was
And then he just disappeared. I think around 2003, 2004, and then we didn't see anything of him until 2014, 2015.
Yeah, actually, he quit in 2010.
Oh.
Because remember, he lost the I Quit match with John Cena?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Alright, I remember now.
Yeah.
Either way, he's really good at selling other superstars, and he did pretty good at getting the fans on his side.
Yeah.
He's just like Triple H. He's really good at selling both being face and heel.
Yeah. I was listening to Talk is Jericho, and this is the sponsor for Talk is Jericho. He I don't know when Chris Jericho posts his podcast, but he does a podcast. I think once every month. I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan. Batista mentioned that after he quit in 2014, he was going to return at SummerSlam, but apparently Hunter Triple H didn't have any plans for him to return.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can only handle so much of Batista before it gets old, but at the same time, he's still pretty entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of matches that it'd be really cool to see Batista do. Like I said, Braun Strowman.
Goldberg.
Yeah, Bobby Roode. That'd be a good match.
Or Batista versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, or Ryback.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Let's move to our next topic. This is going to be the last topic. Let's take a break from wrestling for a little bit, and let's talk about. You got the ideas, Chris? Be about video games, school, cars.
Something about video games.
Okay, so recently, before Grayson came over for the podcast, I was playing Skyrim, and if y'all guys know where Windhelm is, I did this mission. And
you need to explain.
Skyrim is like a 14th century medieval game. There's dragons, there's goblins, dark elves, wood elves, you name it. There's also lizards. There's a war going on between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, and I'm part of the Stormcloaks. I actually joined three organizations: the Thief Organization, the Companion Organization, and the Stormcloak Organization. And I found this orb-looking thing. I had to bring it to a temple, and I got the sword called a Dawnbreaker. And I'm in love with the sword. I like the way it hits the target, because once you hit a target, it sets them on fire, and within 3 strikes, it kills them instantly. And I also got a staff that is frost, and whenever you shoot it, it leaves a trail of frost of spikes, and it hits your opponent, and it freezes them for a short period of time, and then you can hit them. As I was saying, I went to Windhelm after I got 12,000 for the house, and I had spent all night last night trying to get the money built up, and this morning I got to 8,000. And let me tell you, I did this glitch in Dawnstar where you go to Gajit Caravan, and the Gajit is a cat, by the way, and you go through her inventory, and you wait 48 hours, and you go get the chest. Well, I got some cool armor and weapons, and I sold it to the blacksmith. And after I got the money, it was at 12,000. And then I went back to Windhelm, and I talked to the steward of Windhelm. I got the house. It took me a while to find the house. And then while I was looking, that was when my mom called me and wanted me to come over to her friend's house for cake. I took a break from it for a little bit so I could find it, so I could think where it was. And then I went and found the house, and then I went and examined the chest, and it looked like that there was someone had been using the house for like a murder scene. It was kind of like a Ed Gein looking thing. If y'all guys don't know who Ed Gein is, he's a serial killer. That's what inspired Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He killed over... how many was it, Grayson?
I don't know.
I think it was around like 5 people. But there was this secret cabinet I found. There was bones. There was human remains. There was eyeballs. Yeah, it was creepy. And like the murderer was called the Butcher. And we found the Butcher. He was actually a wizard in the palace, and we arrested him. And yeah, so now my only task is getting the furniture and everything and moved into my house, which is going to cost 7 gold. And I'm triggered because of that, because I can't get my hands on 7,000 gold.
Yeah.
What would be your favorite video game today? Grace?
I don't know. I've been playing through Super Mario Odyssey. So far, I'm really impressed with it. But I don't know. I haven't really played any super recent games besides Mario Odyssey. I've stayed away from the Call of Duty World War II and the new Pokemon game because I don't want to spoil them for myself. But I've been playing WWE 2K15 lately, and I've almost got all the characters unlocked. I completed the 2K showcase and all that. It's pretty cool, and you get to unlock a lot more attires for superstars in that than other WWE games.
We're probably going to do one more topic, and then me and Grace are going to end the podcast so we can go do a Royal Rumble. Let's talk about Chris Benoit. Now,
Well,
hold on one sec. Chris Benoit started in Japan, and my dad was telling me that he was part of the Four Horsemen, which I kind of found it hard to believe because, well, he was wrestling for over a decade. He wrestled in WCW, and then he moved to WWE, and he had a few matches that were good. I remember whenever Stone Cold and Triple H went against Chris Benoit and Y2J, and that was when Triple H tore his quad. So a little bit of information. He had a 22-year career. He worked in numerous promotions, including WWF/WWE. Let's see.
we should probably explain how what happened, why.
So, Chris Benoit, after his huge success in all the wrestling promotions, he wrestled in WCW, ECW, New Japan. He was born in Montreal, Canada. He died in Fayetteville, Georgia. He had 2 sons. He had 3 nicknames. One was the Pegasus Kid, the Wild Pegasus, and Chris Benoit, which Chris Benoit was used in WWE. He was trained by Bruce Hart, Frank Cullen, in New Japan, and his debut in the wrestling business was November 22nd, 1985. His early life, besides being born in Canada,
which he could. It's
his personal life. He was friends with Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
The death of Eddie Guerrero in 2005, which Benoit had written diary entries to himself just 10 days after his passing. Let's talk about his championship accomplishments. So he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania XX. That was a huge accomplishment for him because he's never been world champion, and I want to say around that time he was early in the mid 2000s. He was tag champs with Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
and they were feuding at the time. He was also United States champion in 2007. He was a CWA Tag Team Champion and Catch Wrestling Association. He was one of the ECW Tag Team Champions, New Japan, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And he was also World Heavyweight Champion 4 times in Stampede Wrestling, the Light Heavyweight Champion in WWE, and then in WCW, he was WCW World Heavyweight Champion, WCW World Tag Team Champions, Television Champions, United States Champion, and 6th Triple Crown Champion.
See, and this is one of those cases, and WWE has done this with, I think, a couple of other superstars.
Yeah.
But the way he passed, let's touch down on that real quick. So I believe it was sometime in 2005.
It was in 2007, actually.
Oh, yeah. News had released that Chris Jericho had gone and shot both his kids and his wife.
You mean Chris Benoit?
Yes, what did I say?
Chris Jericho.
Oh, no. Jericho.
It wasn't Jericho. It wasn't Jericho.
No,
Ignore that. Ignore that.
Yeah,
it wasn't Jericho.
I had a brain fart. But it was reported that at his home in Georgia, he had shot, I believe, him, his wife, and his kids, I believe. And WWE actually never touched down on that, which I think is wrong on their part, because it wasn't his fault that he did that. There was something mentally wrong with him, and WWE, instead of completely blocking him out of just everywhere, they should embrace it and make it awareness about mental health and stuff like that, instead of just completely marking them from the history books,
Yeah.
They did the same with
Hulk Hogan.
and Umaga.
Umaga, yeah. They ignored his death, actually.
Yeah. Same with Chris Benoit. They never said anything about either of them. The only deaths from back then that I can remember they ever said anything about was Eddie Guerrero,
Dusty Rhodes,
Roddy Piper, Paul Bearer, Ultimate Warrior,
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Owen Hart.
Did they ever do anything for Macho Man?
I want to say they did. He died in 2014, right?
Yeah, I think in a car crash. Who else? I think that's all I can think of right now. I think Jimmy Snuka passed away not that long ago. Jimmy Snuka.
There was tons of more that passed away.
Yeah.
Oh,
too many
China?
Yeah, China passed away not that long ago. One of the Road Warriors.
Yeah, Hawk, I think.
But yeah, a lot of them have passed away. And WWE just needs to face the facts on what happened instead of trying to avoid it.
Yeah, because
it's people that watched WWE back then when Benoit wrestled.
Yeah,
they probably still remember him and wonder why WWE never showed anything about him or said anything.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think is going to change when Vince passes away. Because I believe, if I'm correct, Triple H will be the next in line to take over the company once Vince passes away.
On Facebook, I was reading about this list, and it was 5 wrestlers that will forgive Chris Benoit and 5 wrestlers that won't forgive him. And what really shocked me was Triple H was the one that wasn't going to forgive him.
Yeah.
I mean, because, Triple H and Chris Benoit have fought in the ring multiple times.
Yeah.
Because
people need to come to realize that he did not do that just because he just felt like that was something was mentally wrong with him.
Yeah.
So you cannot get mad and just ignore it. Instead, if I was in charge of WWE when that happened, I would have made awareness about it. Instead of worrying about what people think,
Yeah.
I would have made awareness about mental health and getting help for people, instead of just completely forgetting about them.
I was reading another article, and Chris Benoit's sister recently mentioned that he would have died 10 months later anyways because his heart was bigger than usual.
Yeah.
Because of steroids and all of the muscle enhancements he was taking me. That is all the time we got. This is the last edition of the Thanksgiving edition Wrestling Podcast. I'll probably do another podcast towards next week. I'd like to have Bradley as a guest. He's a buddy that lives towards Decatur. I'll be glad to have him on the podcast. I get reception over at his house, so we can do it at his house. Hope you guys have a Thanksgiving. Bye.